Animal Speaks. Do you know this book?
No, but I'm excited.
Oh, it's you would love this book. It's written by this man who is an intuitive with animals, and so he basically just talks about like what they are, like
Awesome.
each animal and sort of what they represent when we encounter them, and like what does it mean when there's a theme, there's sort of a thematic relationship happening with the animal.
Wow.
Now I'm like, oh, moose.
Yeah, totally.
You have to look up the moose and see like what is that about you, I mean, like when you were another moment, I thought it's just going to speak deeply, to your experience. They are just beautiful, amazing animals with strength and vitality, and they're completely wild, right? I mean, that's why it's so scary to encounter with.
Yeah.
Because they do not care about, they're just like, no.
Yep, you're in my space. I don't like it. And that's totally me. I'm like, nope.
They have good boundaries. They have very good boundaries, and they do not ever let anybody cross their boundary if they're not human.
They don't mess around.
They don't. Like that and hippos, right? Like, people think of them as like soft animals from far away, but you get up close and you get up cross one of those animals.
Seriously, I've also been having a bunch of dreams with ants, and I looked it up, like an army of ants, like how powerful they are for being such little beings. And that to me is like the collective, like as I walk into my power, it's like so many things you've been like, pushing me forward on gently, like, Bree, you're the light, like meditate, find your shield, like you're the light, like pushing me into that role. And now I'm not scared anymore. Like, I'm so relieved to just be like unhinged and like just not affected at all. Like, I sit and I ask myself, like, is it worth it to affect the body like you have for so many years? Like, is it worth it? And 98% of the time, like, nope, it's not worth it. Like, just shoot.
You've learned how to filter so that as things rise up, you can have discernment around like what's going to come in and what isn't, especially somebody who's so sensitive as you.
Yes, it's so important. Yeah, like, it's so incredible. I wrote down, like, I've just been, like, broken wide open. So I wrote down, like, the whole awakening with the moose and, like, what I asked the universe for. And then ego was like, no, like, this doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel safe. And spirit's like, it's okay. You're okay. You're safe. Like, just holding ego's hand. And it's like that whole day and 3 days after, I was like in between the two, and I can see ego and I can see spirit, and like ego's just like, oh, I'm just scared, like I don't like this.
Right. Too much change for the ego can be really, startling and difficult, which in a way is also where we are as part of our collective.
Yes.
Like with Cedar Ginsburg's passing, like one of the things she said was that she often brought up cases that knew exactly what was happening in the moment, so that she didn't hold society way over here, so that there would be a backlash, right, for the undiagnosed, which had not been encountered yet by the collective.
That makes
like
sense.
Does that make sense? Like, she's way over here, but she was like, she went to meet it, right? She was like, here we are at this moment, so I'm going to bring a case for this at this moment in time, just move this far, right, and then this far. Which also relates back to the ants, right? Like, ants also break things down, and then they collectively move them, right? It's like just a little piece at a time, and then a little piece at a time, and then a little piece at a time.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
And it can carry far more than we would ever guess. Like, they can carry, I don't know what it is, but it's like 50 times their weight or something like that. Like, they can carry so much more than they actually weigh just to on their back, right?
Yeah, and that's the light, too. We're abundantly, like, more powerful than any darkness could ever be. So as everything becomes more clear, I'm like, holy crap, like, this is what I've been working on actively for 8 years, and then, like, so much the last 3. And I'm like, how do I, like, cut it through for people to, like, direct them, Because, like, if you say 3 years, like, minimum, people are going to be like, that's a long time.
Not realizing that, again, it's like back to what we were saying about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like that you just have, like, everything happens in increments.
Yes.
Like, our world has to be changing, like, incrementally. Otherwise, there's too much of a backlash, right? I mean, some people will take up shifts, and then they really have a hard time because of the craving of having this deep and wonderful experience, and then afterwards they're craving to go back there, not realizing that they're creating more misery for themselves.
Yes.
Right. Instead of the encountering of the moment. You're like, and what does that mean to just encounter yourself in this moment and slowly move yourself collectively out?
Well, I laid down at one point on the boulder that was holding me and massaging my pain bodies out, and I saw so many animals in the clouds, and it, you know, to me it felt like my spiritual guides. There was even a kitty cat, and I was like, hi guys, it's so good to finally see your faces. Like the abundance of support, you know? And then, like, as the collective too, like, I know, like, even saying LSD, like, for me, it never even interested me. Like, ayahuasca and, like, the calling, like, it's never called to me. But I've had, like, incredible goals of connecting to the core and connecting to the source. And when this bright warrior came into my life and handed it to me, I was like, I think he's onto something here, you know? And then when I dropped in, like, I could only do that on my own, you know? And, like, it was terrifying. And I can understand, like, the pull to want to do more of it, but I sat there that day and I just asked my guides to help me remember the teachings and really continue to walk into my power. And, like, they're still just, like, flowing through me, like, every day. It's so incredible. Like, the writings and just, like, it's, like, full force. Like, all the chakras have been broken open, and I'm just like, woo!
Which is like was meant to be. Like, we're meant to be in this healthy state with our chakras open. Like, like, having been able to tie up, like, our family relationships, like, knowing where we stand in relation to them.